Let's just talk about the ride this team is on right now. You guys went 9-1-0 to really get yourself back and solidify that playoff spot. What are you seeing as a veteran guy on this team?
I just think we're kind of finding our identity. We're playing to our strengths. Everyone's coming together. I feel like we're in every game now, no matter what the circumstances are, what the score is. I feel like we're always in it, and think we can win.
Given the stretch you guys went through earlier in the season, that 0-10-1 stretch, didn't seem like this was possible. What do you think it is? Because, I mean, same team mostly, and you guys have somehow flipped that script. So what do you think it is? Like, what if you could put your finger on it, or maybe you can't?
I guess maybe a little maturity. We have quite a bit younger team, so it's tough coming into pro hockey, and I think we found the team and the identity we need to play as, and I think it's clicking now.
Is that the benefit of having veteran guys like yourself and Axel and Jeff and Christian to balance out those younger guys like the Parkers and the Brads and the Nikitas, because they're talented, but they don't have that experience at that pro level?
Yeah, I think we kind of have a perfect mix of both. Like you said, we got the veterans, but we also got some young guys, and I think both groups bring a lot to the table.
What can you say about, speaking of young guys, Thomas Milic? Hard to tell that he's a rookie in this league, what he's been able to do in the run he's gone on for you, and obviously Colin as well, but specifically Thomas, what he's been able to do for your team.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic. He works hard every day. And as a goalie, he gives us a chance to win every night, and that's all you're looking for. So he's been absolutely solid for us back there, and like I said, he gives us a chance every night.
Just the reflecting now that you guys are leaving the divisional play, just how significant was it that your group did as well as they did against the Rockford or Milwaukee, I guess, and Chicago's and all the divisional opponents to really be able to solidify this spot in the playoffs?
Yeah, the divisional games, I mean, you got to look at it as 4-point nights, so they're obviously a lot bigger than just this a typical game. So we did a good job grinding those out, getting as many points as we can. But we got to keep the foot on the gas. Obviously, Chicago and Iowa are still right behind us. So got to keep the foot on the gas and keep getting as many points as we can.
Is it hard to maintain that kind of mindset, or is it that you guys are just like automatic? I asked Jeff about that the other day. It could be a little bit of a grind, right? Because you guys did have to kind of chase and scratch and claw your way back to this position, or are you guys just kind of, this is now the sort of in the DNA?
Yeah, the key word we've been using is desperation. We've been using that for a while now when we were out of the playoffs, and I think it still stands, and we got to keep playing that way throughout here. Like I said, those two teams are right behind us, and anything can happen if we start losing games.
How challenging is it here facing a team like Abbotsford? I mean, you know where they are in the standings, but you haven't faced them yet this season. Does that pose any challenges, or are you guys able to sort of, I guess, get their game plan on just through video and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll take a look at them and the tendencies they like to do, but I think the main focus is us and continuing to grow what we've been doing and sticking with our game plan.
All right, C.J., let's maybe not focus on the last couple of games, but just focus on the last month, really, and this run your team has been on and what you guys have managed to do. You're a veteran guy. What have you seen from this group that's switched an 0-10-1 run at one point to a 9-1-0 streak?
I think it's just consistency. I think we've come together as a team and really committed to playing a full 60 minutes and playing our way. I mean, I think we can kind of get away from our game if we don't kind of stick to our roots, and I think that's kind of making plays at blue lines at bad times when they're not there. But I feel like for the last month, like you said, we've kind of made a commitment to kind of making the right plays at the right time, having skill when it's needed, but at the same time when the game's on the line, making the right plays at the blue lines and the O zone and the D zone and kind of bearing down to win games.
One of the words Dominic just used was desperation. He said, playing desperate hockey. It can be a little taxing on you guys, but it seems like it hasn't been, and it's working. So have you sensed that you guys are playing that way? And again, like I said, how much of a commitment is it to play that way for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, now that we've worked ourselves back into a position, we can't lose that. Because that's what's got us here. And I think that desperation has really showed for us and kind of made us committed to kind of making playoffs and going far in that regard. So I think it's kind of sticking to those roots and kind of continuing to play the same way desperately.
One of the things that it really seems, you have a younger team, one of the youngest teams in the AHL, but there's a good balance. And it seems like you guys have, veterans mixed in with the young guys. Sometimes you'll overload a line, but for the most part, you get that good balance. So you get the skill, but an inexperience of these guys who don't know what it takes to play a full season as a pro with guys who do. So do you like the fact that this team has really balanced out the lineup and allowed you guys to kind of have that commitment throughout the 4 lines?
Yeah, it's nice to have, especially when you're coming in off the ice onto the bench during a game. It's huge to have those little comments and kind of teaching moments and kind of getting the other guys on board, or younger guys, as you may. But yeah, I think it's huge to kind of have that mix, like you said, and kind of have those teaching points during the game as well.
What can you say about Thomas Milic? I mean, obviously both of your goaltenders have stepped up in this run, but he specifically, I think he had like a 7 straight games or 7 straight wins or something like that. He's been, named AHL Player of the Week as a rookie. What are you seeing from this young goalie prospect?
He's been great so far for us. He's super quick in the net. He's quiet. He's reserved. He's calm, and I think that kind of portrays out there and kind of gives us confidence when he's in net. And I think he's really done wonders for us so far, and hopefully he can keep going.
What can you say about the intensity of these games coming up here too? I mean, obviously you always want to be able to pick up points, but with some outer division opponents, so it must be just a little extra emphasis on those games too.
Yeah, any ground we can make up is huge for us at this moment, and especially out of division. Those are kind of big points to get no matter what. And at this point, we could use as many points as we can get. We're right behind Texas, and we always know Chicago is going to be battling. So
one of the things you guys are focused on is catching Texas for 4th spot, not being satisfied just being the 5th and final playoffs team, like that opportunity to get home ice in that 3-game set.
Yeah, it's huge. I think you want to get the home ice no matter what and play in front of your own fans. And at the end of the year, it's just you want to win as many games as possible, right, to get yourself in the best position, and that's what we're trying to do.
And maybe just speaking to that idea of how good you guys did against the divisional opponents, right? Because that it really was a make or break season when that 6-game road trip, and you guys made your season. Obviously, not yet. You still have a ways to go, but I mean, that took a lot of intestinal fortitude, I would imagine, to really do that sort of have that sort of run against divisional opponents.
Yeah, it brought out the character on our team because many teams can fold over in that circumstance, and it showed that we have grit and that we're willing to work hard to kind of make the playoffs and get to where we want to be.